Welcome back to the 2024 Christmas Cheertacular. I'm having a lot of fun talking some Christmas movies. Haven't talked about as many as I want this year, but that's okay. That's what Christmas is here for. We're here to talk about some Christmas movies. And today I'm going to be talking about Elf. This was directed by Jon Favreau, starring Will Ferrell and James Caan, and came out in 2003. For Elf, I don't know. It's one of those movies that I saw when I was really young. I was about 9 when this came out. It's one of those Christmas movies I don't really remember. And I guess that's the biggest detriment with this film. That's really my big negative, is that each year I go into watching Elf. I haven't it's not a consistent staple throughout Christmas season because there's so many other different Christmas movies that I consider classics. Like I have to watch the Home Alone movies every year. I have to watch I'll Be Home for Christmas every year. I know that movie's all not that well regarded, but in my household it was. Okay, I got to watch the Santa Claus movies every year. And now with some new Christmas movies like Carry On that I talked about earlier this year, and a movie like Violent Night, I got to incorporate those into my Christmas movie watches every year. So sometimes I got to let Elf slip by the wayside, and I have to watch Polar Express every year too. I think maybe that's why I find Elf to be a little bit forgettable compared to those movies. I'd rather watch those movies than Elf, where I had seen Elf at such a young age. I remember certain scenes. I remember certain jokes. I remember Buddy the Elf being like, Santa, oh my God, he's coming, he's here, when he's in Gimbals, you know, the discount Macy's.
Morning, 10 a.m. Santa's coming to town.
Santa! Oh my God! Santa here? I know him.
I remember Buddy being a fish out of water, but the actual plot of the movie involving him trying to adapt to life so that he can spend time with his father, played by James Caan, a lot of that stuff I don't even remember. And even watching it today, I don't even remember it. But I can see why Elf is deemed a classic by many. Its IMDb rating has consistently gone up over the years to where it is above a 7 now. I believe it's at a 7.1 on IMDb. So a lot of people love it, and I see why. It is actually really funny. And James Caan in this, to me, is someone who feels like he's playing an extension of his character Sonny Corleone from the Godfather trilogy. He's just this old curmudgeon-y, grumpy father that doesn't really care all that much about his family. He kind of neglects them. He's so caught up in his work, where his work has really consumed him. He doesn't have the Christmas spirit, and he doesn't even want to share any time with his biological son that was adopted and brought to the North Pole, an illegitimate son at that. All the fish out of water sequences are really fun. I really like this little dynamic between Buddy and Jovi in this. It's just really cute. A really cool Christmas type of romance. Christmas is abound in this movie. I love that characters like Walter find the Christmas spirit. They find what's truly important during the Christmas time. I love when Buddy goes into all these department stores like Gimbals, which again is discount Macy's, and decorates them like he's at the North Pole. I love seeing all the North Pole scenes. I love seeing Buddy help Santa at the end. There's a lot to love in Elf, but for me, it's just not as memorable as a lot of those other movies that I listed off at the beginning of this video. I just find those movies to be more classics than Elf, but I see why Elf has such an appeal to it. It's got a lot of Christmas spirit. It's got Will Ferrell. It's directed by Jon Favreau. It's actually really funny. It's a really interesting fish out of water type of situation. Speaking of that fish out of water situation, I like how it's not Buddy the Elf just spending 2 days in New York City and then being acclimated to everyday life. No, this dude is an elf through and through. He's like, I am going to do the elf life. I'm going to have spaghetti with spaghetti sauce, but I'm going to pour some maple syrup on there because I love sugar, maybe even some candy on top of there. The dude is just an elf, and I love that about Elf. I'm going to give Elf a B+. It's a good Christmas movie. It's not one of my favorites, but I understand why it has such a legendary status. I just find it to be a little bit more forgettable and just one of those that isn't really a Christmas staple for me every year. So if you guys have seen Elf, let me know what you think of it in the comments section below. I will leave my link to my website in the description below as well. I will try to get at least one more Christmas movie review out for you so we have an even 5 for the Christmas Cheertacular before Christmas. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I will see you at the movies somewhere.